Welcome to episode 11 of my BC to Arizona motorcycle adventure. I left my campsite in Patagonia early in the morning, heading south to Nogales on the American side of the border, before turning north nearly to Tucson. I then headed into the Tohono O'odham Reservation, where I got lost in the desert, before finally turning to Deadend and westward to Yuma, and ending the day in El Centro, California. I started the morning heading straight into the sun, and look what the GoPro did with it. It's like a sun went supernova and is about to destroy the earth. It's huge and bright, but it was beautiful, and it didn't really look like that to me, so little GoPro magic there. I woke up this morning at the beautiful Patagonia State Park campsite. Unfortunately, I woke up a little earlier than I had expected to. I was serenaded in the morning by songbirds. Well, actually, large birds that were cawing. It woke me up at 5 a.m. So it really wasn't long before I reached Nogales. Now, Nogales is a huge town on the Mexican side of the border, and a small town on the American side. In any event, I was just passing through. Arizona Interstate 19 runs between Nogales and Tucson, and it's the only interstate in the United States to be fully marked by kilometers. Yeah, I saw these kilometer signs on the side of the road, and I was thinking, what's going on? Even the mile markers are actually kilometer markers. And, why is this? Well, it turns out that this highway was first opened in 1962, and it was fully completed in 1978. And back in 1975, Congress passed the Metric Conversion Act. So the U.S. was actually planning to go metric at that time. There was a big backlash against it, and Ronald Reagan shut it down late in the 80s. But at that time, Gerald Ford was hoping that the U.S. was going to go metric, and this road, they put everything in kilometers. Later on, they were thinking of changing it to miles, but the locals apparently like it. It's unique. It's the only interstate that's fully marked by kilometers in the United States, so that's something. And there you go. When I was riding it, I was thinking, is this for the benefit of Mexicans coming up to the States? But now I know, and now you know. Any American living near the Mexican border is familiar with Border Patrol stops. It was something new for me. They have random stops from time to time, but they often have fixed stops where you're going down the highway and there's a spot where you know you're going to go through the check. I guess they know what they're looking for. Some of them have dogs, all of them have armed Border Patrol people, but mostly they wave me through. It didn't really slow things down too much, and I assume they know exactly what they're doing. Deep inside the Tohono Reservation, oh look, there's some horses here on the side of the road. Got to be careful not to startle them and have them accidentally charge me. Anyway, it was here in the reservation that Google decided to send me on one of their shortcuts. Now, some of these shortcuts that Google sends me on send me into places I'd never otherwise go, and I have some fantastic experiences there. And sometimes they're quite disastrous, and I never know which I'm going to get. So it was with a bit of trepidation, but here deep in the desert, the scenery was becoming rather monotonous, and the chance to try something different was just too tempting. So if you know me by now, that means the highway slowly disintegrated until it became a complete dirt road. And that was no problem. It was easy enough to navigate. But then I saw a sign saying that COVID warnings, and it hadn't been taken down yet. So I wasn't sure how much the people here wanted someone entering into their territory. So that was a bit on my nerves. But the real issue was, once I got to a certain point and entered a small town, the roads were very hard to determine, and it seemed to completely dead end. I've since checked on a map, and it does look like it goes through, but when I got here, there was no indication of that. The main road definitely came to a dead end in this small town. There was no one out and about, and why would there be? It was hot enough. And yeah, I wasn't sure that they would want to talk with me, seeing as they had signs up saying, delivery only if necessary, that kind of thing. So I rode around for a bit and decided the best thing to do was just to go back the way I came, back to safety, and go that way. So that's what I did. So all in all, I don't regret this Google shortcut. I do regret not having Google offline maps enabled, because I would have been able to find a route through. As it was, Google was taking me on a route that didn't exist, and that sometimes happens on these remote roads. So I turned around and eventually found myself back on the freeway and looking for my next adventure. There's a lot of barren land out here, so it was almost surprising when I encountered civilization again. The town of Ao is quite big, clean, and it's like an oasis in the middle of the wilderness. It's nice to be in a town for a while, but it isn't long before I'm back in the open desert, with long, straight stretches. But there's some mountains and hills too, and that keeps the ride interesting as you're going along this trail for quite some time. And yes, I encountered another Border Patrol stop. And once again, it was really no problem. I breezed right through. This one did have a sign that they had working dogs ahead, but I didn't see any here. From Gila Bend, the highway follows the Gila River towards Yuma and ultimately the Gulf of California. It's kind of odd seeing farmland after being in the desert for so long, especially since the climate is exactly the same. But with irrigation, you can do wonders. I find the foothills region, just east of Yuma, to be particularly beautiful. It's just gray mountains, just solid rock basically, very little vegetation. But it's somehow starkly beautiful, and yeah, I find it very enjoyable to ride through this region. It won't be long now. Yeah, here I am, coming up. Welcome to California. While this looks like another Border Patrol stop, it's actually a California inspection center. I'm not sure what they're looking for in these places. They used to look for fruit and other things like that. But anyway, I got waved through. Most of the people did, and on the way again. The area west of Yuma is quite interesting. South of the border, and we're right at the border, the Mexican side has a lot of agriculture due to the Gila River and also the Colorado River, which is a little bit more to the west. And west of Yuma, you'll encounter a lot of agriculture in California, again, due to the Colorado River. But immediately after Yuma, you end up in an area where there's these huge sand dunes. And a lot of people come here and they'll take out their dirt bikes and their ATVs and do a lot of riding. There's lots of miles of trails and just riding the dunes themselves. So it's a really neat area for that kind of activity. So there's areas of irrigation, there's areas of desert, and included in the desert there will be these canals of water, and they're just transporting the water from these rivers to areas where they want to grow crops, and it's quite a contrast. So in El Centro, I stayed at the classic Inn and Suites Motel, and quite a nice little looking place on the outside. Excellent air conditioning. So here's the room. All in all, very nice sheets. Very thin sheets, but it's very hot here in El Centro. And nice desk. TV was set up, no cable it seems, just Android TV, so it had Netflix and Disney Plus and all those different things. If you had accounts, you could sign in and watch. Microwave and little mini fridge. Quite a large closet space. Suitable bathroom. Already been used, sorry. Excellent shower. Love the shower. Look how high up that is. Great for us over 6 feet people. Yeah, it was not designed by a 5'2" plumber. And excellent water flow. Felt great. However, if you see that streak, that is like a toothpaste streak. If you rub it, it'll come off. So the cleaning, yuck. You can see the place has had some troubles. And look at the lean on the toilet. You feel a little bit like you're gonna fall over. But the price was nice. I think cleaning is something everybody wants in a room. So focus on the cleaning. The fact that the building is old and is falling over, well, you can satisfy that with the price. And the price was $70 a night, reasonable price. I actually think this is a decent hotel, but yeah, make sure it's clean, please. Hey, I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit the like button, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next ride.